Steven De Meester, welcome. From Ghent University, you're the Prosper Project Coordinator. So tell the audience about the idea behind the project, how you see it developing, and the role of the coordinator in that.
Okay, so maybe first I will explain you a bit about the idea. So the idea is that how I see it, I typically work on regular plastic and the regular recycling and sorting field. So how I see it is that bioplastics have difficulties to get sorted, and sorting is really the first step of recycling. And if you don't get sorted, you don't get recycled. So I was considering, why are bioplastics not sorted? And then I was thinking it's about scale. And that is basically how we got to the project idea. How can we get bioplastic sorted in an economically feasible way to afterwards get recycled? Because in principle, like PLA and other bioplastics are very recyclable, and the depolymerization you can do it, and repolymerization you can do it. So the main problem is getting a collection scheme and sorting scheme up to place. So that is, for me, the starting point. How can we get fractions that are currently a minor fraction in the field of packaging? That is where we wanted to focus, because packaging is the biggest market for polymers. So how can you get in the field of packaging your bioplastic sorted in an economical, feasible way? That was the goal. And that is why we gathered waste management companies. And I'm glad in this project we have 4 waste management companies involved, and a lot of partners also, like NTCP, the Test Center for Circular Plastics, which has a pilot plant for sorting, where we can really play around with equipment to demonstrate how it can be sorted. And then coming a bit more to our role, we typically work in broader field of waste management, where we develop future scenarios to improve the sorting and recycling of regular polymers. And we have models to really predict what is going to be the yield and the cost of certain sorting and recycling scenarios. So that is when I thought, okay, we can model the recycling and sorting system and the cost and the carbon footprint of that. So maybe we can also do it for bioplastics and see how the scale effect of sorting bioplastics can increase the competitiveness of the bioplastic recycling. So this is one of the major roles for us. We're going to make a digital twin of that sorting and recycling system, and going to play around with future scenarios of market penetration of different types of bioplastics, and then see the effect on yield and cost of this.
So is this more a systemic challenge, Steven, or is it more a technological challenge?
In the end, and that's a very dull answer, I think most of the problems are economics. Most of the problems, and especially in the field of recycling and polymers, where the margins on the materials are quite low, everything is about money. So for me, it's an economic problem to get the price right. If you think about plastics as a whole, they cost €1 per kilo on average, a bit more, a bit less, depending on the situation. But that gives you very little margin of processes and of complicated stuff to do. You need to really go below this price of making something new, which is then €1 per kilo. So for me, it's a systemic thing, how to get this whole system of collecting the waste and sorting and recycling up to virgin quality, because quality is important in recycling. How can you get that below, or at least matching the price of making something new? And that is a systemic aspect, because in principle, sorting bioplastics is possible. It is already possible in a way. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to make it more efficient, but in principle, it is already possible. Depolymerizing most plastics and most bioplastics is possible already. So it's really bringing the actors together and trying to develop scenarios in a systemic way, how to get it economically feasible.
Well, you've got 4 years. Good luck.
Yes, okay, but we have actors that are very well experienced in this, and I'm quite convinced that we're gonna make a change. And of course, I'm not exaggerating here. One project never changes the whole world. It's always a combination of projects. But I think with our project, we have producers, we have quite some waste management facilities, we have academics and research institutes working on the economics. So I do think we can make a change and at least provide scenarios for bioplastic penetration in the packaging market. I'm also very grateful that CITEO, So the EPR organization in France is a member of our consortium, because they can really, or this kind of organizations in general, they can really, well, change the markets. Sure. And we also have powerful organizations in our consortium that can actually change something. So I'm not saying that our project will be the big change, but I think we're going to make an important contribution to make bioplastic sorting and recycling more competitive, and at least show that it is possible on the first instance.
Yeah. Thank you, Steven.